Man, what's really good, man? It's your boy Hatter Ali with the What's Really Good podcast with the one and only, you know what I'm saying, Coach Hue that in the house. Man, what's going on, Coach?
Adder, what's going on, man? It's always good to see you. I hope the restaurant's going good. Hope the family's doing well. You look great.
Hey man, listen, I look great, but got some technical difficulties, I usually do the show on the laptop, but doing it through the phone. But hey man, the restaurant's good, the kebabs are going out, naans, I be throwing like a frisbee to people, food's coming in and out, everything is good. But hey man, this podcast is gonna be near dear to our heart, man. Obviously, you
Sir.
being a Cali guy, coaching for the Raiders. This is going to be for the Raiders fans out there. This is going to be a full on Raiders podcast, and it just can't be done without a special guest I'll have on soon, man. So, what you think about that, Coach?
Well, I can't wait to see who this special guest is because I'm sure it's somebody special.
Oh, most definitely. He's a special guest, but he's a special fast. So, we got to get our eyes peeled so we don't miss something.
Now, we had a lot of fast guys now.
Oh, well, hey, Coach, I mean, this might be this is special fast. This is the top, three overall in NFL history fast over here,
Okay,
man. But
okay.
hey, here we go. We're gonna bring him on. He is one of the fastest players, in the league at that time, and one of the top four all-time 100-meter time by an NFL player. Okay,
I know,
till
I know
this
who
day,
that is. That I know
till
exactly who that is because there's
till
nobody
this day,
questioning this young man.
this day. So here we go.
What's going on, Pop?
Jacoby
What's
Ford
up,
in the
Jacoby?
house.
Look, Jacoby was one of the fastest, most dynamic players I've ever coached in my life.
Definitely, man. I had to get Jacoby Ford out, man, because that's a dude right there, man. I mean, that boy was, obviously was there with the Raiders, brought that spark out, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, we got fast guys nowadays, but listen, man, Jacoby Ford was a different type of fast, coach. And
You
coach,
better
you
believe
witnessed
he
it.
was.
You
Oh
witnessed it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I put it into motion. This guy single-handedly won a game for us against the Kansas City Chiefs. Me made some incredible plays that I don't even know how he made, but he made them, and we won the
Definitely.
game. But he
Hey,
was just he was fun to coach, but more so than that, he was an unbelievable young man, and so that's what I enjoyed more than anything.
and most definitely, Jacoby, what's going
Thank
on
you.
with you?
Thank you. Oh man, nothing much, nothing much. Just over here at my mom's house.
Okay.
We're actually headed over to Jupiter here, probably pretty soon. One of my tutor growing up, her sister. I used to be real close with her sons. She suddenly passed, so they're doing. And today would have been her 61st birthday, so they're
Sorry to
doing
hear
like
that.
a
Sorry to
celebration
hear that.
of her birthday over like by the water. So they want you to wear like bright colors and stuff. It's like a celebration life. It was sudden, and I haven't seen them probably in like. I mean, they haven't seen me since I was little. I probably haven't seen my tutor since about 15 plus years now. But we still keep in contact through like Facebook, texting, etc. So still feels like we're right there. So I'm actually excited to see her, but not under these circumstances.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, I mean, hey, man, I hope for the best. I'm gonna keep him in prayers for sure.
Man, I
But
appreciate that.
yeah, for sure, Jacoby. I mean, but when it came to the Raiders, man, 2010 fourth round pick. You know what I'm saying? How was it? How did it feel, man, getting drafted by the Raiders? That organization at that time, and then having an OC like my boy Coach Hue. Your first year, man. How was that?
It was fun, man. It was a big learning process too. Um, I always tell people the first route I ran was a slant against Namdi Asamoah, and
Hmm.
before I even got to my third step, he was already cutting in front of me. And I was like, yeah, they're these guys are playing a lot faster. And Hugh came over to me and said, hey, you gotta play fast, and you gotta be right, be in the right place at the right time, and be in the right spot because these guys, they're smart, they can get a beat on you. So I just the game started slowing down a little bit for me. But when I became a Raider, I just kind of saw what that organization meant, and what it meant to wear that silver and black. And just from everybody around here in my neighborhood, just here in Palm Beach County, was excited, and I never seen so many Raider fans pop out as soon as I got drafted. So that's where I really started seeing and learning the effect of the Raider Nation.
Hey, most definitely having a Raiders jersey around near Palm Beach, man. That's kind of rare, ain't that, Coach? I know you be going down Florida all the time, seeing Raiders down there. You know, it's like me when I take my trips to Miami or something, wearing my Redskins jerseys, man. They'd be like, "Hey, what's going on?" But hey, most definitely. But you got to remember, not only you're a wide receiver, you were one of the best when it came to returning kicks. So people out there in the newcast about to get drafted, who are quick and fast. What do you think the top three attributes you would say when it comes to returning kicks, man? What you got, lined up?
First off, you got to have a great coach that you believe in the special teams, and you got to have the right leader there. But then you got to have a great group of core guys that actually buy in, believe special teams, believe it can actually make a difference, win a game / lose a game. But we never want to be on the losing part of it. Just want to make sure you're aware that it is 3 phases of the game. And then also, I mean, you have to, what would be the third one? Third one, oh, you gotta trust. You have to trust the scheme.
Right.
And honestly, make it fun. Make it fun. And that's one thing I think Coach Bones did. He made it very fun, very simple. He made it very simple. A lot of our blocks were pretty much man blocks, and I trusted my guys to get the blocks, honestly. And most of the time they did. And I think with this new kickoff rule actually coming into effect, I actually am glad because now the return game is actually going to come back and be an affecting, part of the game instead of being, frowned upon actually coming out of the end zone now. So.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, Coach Hugh, what do you think about that new rule?
No, I think obviously they're trying to do everything for the safety of the game, but I think what Jacoby just said, it's going to make the returner more valuable, because a guy with tremendous speed, a guy that doesn't have any fear, he's going to be running quickly with the ball because the two, return team and kickoff team, they're going to engage a lot quicker, and guys either going to get off, but there's so much space in between that it's going to be a lot different for the returner and for the coverage teams.
No, most definitely. And Jacoby, I got to put this out there, man. Did you know you are the last Raider, who returned a kick for a touchdown?
That's
Now,
absolutely that's wild. That's
now,
wild.
now think about that. I mean, the Raiders fans, when they see Jacoby Ford on this podcast, man, listen, they're gonna have their eyes open because they might miss something. You know what I'm saying? But hey, but I gotta ask you this, Jacoby. I gotta ask you, Coach. I want your input on this. When you first came to the league, who do you think? If you were lined up with Tyreek Hill, man, who do you think is gonna be faster? Who's gonna win that race, man? Let's
Me.
be real. Hey, that's
Me.
it. Hey, that's it. Hey, that's
Man.
it, man.
I mean, you see me.
Oh no, that's this guy's a different speed. The cheetah can run, but if we're gonna talk about cheetah, that was cheetah and cheetah 2.0 because
Hey,
nobody can run like Jacoby. I mean, it was different. When I tell you the way it felt on the field, and he probably don't remember this in 2011, the greatest, and he made so many tremendous plays, but he went up against Champ Bailey. We were playing no huddle offense. Champ Bailey had to get out because he was one of the best corners there was in football. And he knew Jacoby could run. And he would drag Champ off so fast. Champ would get out of there before he ever tried to make a play on this young man. I mean, it's just he had a different level of speed, but his initial quickness, and I think that's what makes Tyreek good. Not only were they fast, but they were initially fast. And that's what makes it so tough to defend.
Yeah,
no, most definitely.
he's super explosive, super quick off the line. And I mean, I wish I had that many free releases off the ball that they give him. Like the freedom he has in that offense and how they move him around. I mean, it's genius. Keep him on the move.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's out there playing CFL football, honestly. Like the way that the space that he's getting and to be able to do it and the routes that he's able to run. And he's running everything like to his strengths. Like everything is to his strengths.
No, most definitely. It definitely is. Hey, Jacoby, I gotta ask you now, and Coach Hugh, obviously we're gonna get into the nitty gritty, into the Raiders talk. All right, now, we gotta talk about some of these notable free agency signings. Jacoby, I know you still keep track of your homeboys with the Raiders. And Coach Hue, I know you got a whole journal, you be writing, you always keep track. So,
Yeah.
Alexander Madison getting a 2-year contract, worth up to $2 million. Do you guys think, what would you grade that signing? And do you think he might be ending up as the as a starting running back?
Obviously, he's a good player. Obviously coming from Minnesota, he was a backup, but played some very meaningful games for them. Obviously, them, losing one, I thought Josh Jacobs was one of the best runners in the league. It's going to hurt. You say what you want, but Madison's a big physical runner. I'm sure they're going to run the football there. That's Antonio's Pierce. That's going to be his mentality. So I think it's a good signing, and again, they have some other players. I think the young man White, who ended up the year for them this past year, did a tremendous job. So it's going to be interesting, just to see how Madison fits. He's got to fit, no question. But I think White's the guy because he had a tremendous season this past year.
Yeah, they got White, they got Amir, they re-signed him, Abdullah, and they got Alexander Madison. But a guy who's about to get about $2 million for 2 years. I think it's going to be interesting to see who comes up as a starter. I mean, Jacoby, what you think on that?
I'm pretty sure he probably has something in his contract. If he rushes for a certain amount of yards, he can probably try to renegotiate next year. But I mean, when you get those kind of contracts, you want to go prove out there that you can go play. So now he has to go out there. He's got to go play. I think we have 3 good backs that can all run. I don't think we need to go get any backs, to be honest. I mean, we'll probably find an extra one more than likely in camp. But I like Zamir White. I like Abdullah. I actually have always been a fan of his. I actually watched him in college. So I like him. He's a good, dependable back. He's really good out the backfield. Very good third down back, I think. Him and Zamir. And then we have a bruiser right there with who we signed at the end. So I think we got a good group of backs, and it's shaping up. I think we're shaping up. He's getting the pieces that he needs and pieces that he wants. I think you're gonna start seeing it all come together.
No, most definitely. And now here comes another notable one, Mr. Gardner Minshew. Been around. Shaved mustache, unshaved mustache. He's been around. You know what I'm saying? He got signed for a 2-year contract for $25 million. Now that's a bag right there. But what do you think about that grade, Coach Hue?
No, I mean, again, they went out and got a proven guy who's won games, who's been a backup. Because I really believe the Raiders are going to go find their quarterback. I think they're in it to go see if they can get one of these good guys. But if they can't, then they have a guy that they feel like that they can win games with. I think that's important to do for competition for the kid that was a starter there last year that ended the season, I should say. Because that room's got to be right. You can't win unless you have that room right. And so, but I think Antonio Pierce wants to go get a guy that he can, put his career next to as they move forward.
Agreed. He's a dog. I think he's a proven quarterback in this league. Very well respected. Has won plenty of games, big games. Really, honestly, he really does not make many mistakes. And he's a good veteran to have in that room, especially for O'Connell. I think he's great for O'Connell to have. And I agree. We probably are. That's where I think we are going to go get somebody. If we can trade up and kind of go all out to go get one of those guys, I think we will, and I think they should, because we have those other pieces around that can make plays on the outside. I think we just need to just go and just pull the trigger and go get that quarterback and call it a day.
The biggest question for most of the Raiders fans out there, without the draft in the discussion, who could be the possible starting quarterback? Do you think it might be O'Connell? Do you think it might be Minshew if we have it as is right now? What do you think, Coach?
I think it'd be Minshew. I think he just got more veteran presence. He's been in a lot more games, seen a lot more defenses. Not that the kid O'Connell didn't do a good job. I think he really steadied the ship last year. But again, this is a different level now, right? I mean, they got to go win games. They're in a division where Patrick Mahomes resides, and the other quarterback at the Chargers is a good player. And so you got to make sure that position plays at a level to give you a chance to win week in and week out, because you got to go win that division.
I mean, the division's tough. Um, you got Mahomes, who's been running the division. Herbert, he's tough. I mean, we don't know who's going to be over there in Denver, but they're still gonna be tough. But the AFC West is now like a powerhouse over there, and it all starts at the quarterback position, as you can see with those games. Um, and I think if we want to be heard, if we want to be respected, and we want to go out here and win some games and be successful out there, it's got to start with that position, because we're only going to go as far as that position honestly can take us and elevate our game. So that's where, I definitely seen, just over the years, just from the Chiefs going from a Matt Castle to a Patrick Mahomes is just night and day. Like it's night and day. And Matt Castle did some great things. He did great things over there. But it's just the different level of quarterback play is uncanny. And I think you need that definitely on the team.
What do you think, Jacoby, the Raiders are lacking in? It can be special, it can be special team, it can be offense, defense. What exactly, do you think they're, lacking in right now or in the past years?
I think just that consistency of just being consistent, of just winning, just multiple games. I definitely think just getting out of the habit of losing games, you just shouldn't lose. And because when we had a great quarterback, Derek Carr did, he was amazing over here with us. So, it's hard to say that, anything was on him. It was just kind of hard to pinpoint. Sometimes the offense plays on point and the defense is not there. I just think it just was never a time that they just got all three phases all clicking at once. You can see flashes of it maybe in the first half, and then all of a sudden it just kind of would fade away. So I think just probably finishing games better with them, which I think they definitely did better this year, especially whenever AP got involved. I definitely think they played a lot harder, played fully through the game, no matter what the game was. They still were always in it every time.
No, I agree on that. Coach Hue, what do you think they're lacking in, man?
I think Jacoby said it well. I mean, it's them playing as a football team. How fast can this team gel with a new coaching staff? Now AP head and he's the leader from the start of it, right? So it's getting that team to play in his personality from game 1 through game 17. If they can do that consistently, then great things can happen.
Round 1, pick 13, you know what I'm saying, is their first pick in the draft. Coach Hue, what do you exactly think, what skill positions they could possibly get with that 13 overall?
They're trying to trade up. They want to go get a quarterback. I mean,
Okay.
they make no bones about that. I mean, they want to. I think they had a couple guys they really like, and I think they're going to try to make that happen. And if not, I think they'll settle on an offensive lineman. I think that's important. Offense or defensive lineman. That's where the games are won. You get somebody to pair with Max Crosby and the young man he just got from Miami. There can be a lot of great things happen defensively, and you get a really good offensive tackle, you're going to be better on offense. You got to protect the quarterback too. So whatever that is, I think that's kind of where the mindset is, and I think that's where it should be.
We got to move up, because if it's that close, I don't see. Honestly, it's a good trade if for whoever would take it. I mean, I think it's a good trade. I mean, they're definitely going to probably want something else with it, but at this point here, I think they should just, like I said earlier, just pull the trigger and go and just trade up and go get the quarterback you want. Go get the guy you want, who you believe is going to get there and learn, start learning there for that first year. I don't know if that guy would come in and start right away. That's tough on a rookie quarterback. It just depends on the situation you're going into. I think with this one here, I think it would be good to go get that young quarterback, have him sit there and learn behind O'Connell, Minshew, really learn the game, go get that knowledge, really understand his defenses, how fast this game is played, and then seize that opportunity whenever that opportunity presents itself.
With all that said, Jacoby, I mean, overall, from how it looks right now, how do you think they're going to do the upcoming season? It could be, you can tell us record-wise, you can just tell us how you feel. It can just be overall. What do you think how they will do this upcoming season?
Honestly, until the games are played, I never know. And that's always just been my answer. You have to go out there and get through OTAs, minicamp, camp, injuries, knock on wood, just part of the football game, how it is. Um, but I think we'll start seeing when we get to when we start getting to the preseason games, we can kind of get a glimpse of what we're gonna see. Then that's when I can kind of give a better answer. But that's usually how I always answer that kind of question.
Hey, Coach Hue, I mean, listen, you gotta just because your boy Marvin Lewis is over there, man. Listen, you gotta let us know what you think they're gonna do this upcoming season.
No, I hope the Raiders go and win the division and qualify for the playoffs and go in there and make some noise. I want to see AP do well. I want to see Mark Davis do well. I want to see the Raider organization do extremely well. I mean, that's near and dear to my heart. So I'm hoping for nothing but the best for them. I mean, they have a lot of work ahead. I think they know it. I think Jacoby said it well. All those things have to happen the right way, from OTAs to, off-season program, training camp, through preseason, get off to a great start in the season, then anything can happen. But, you got to make a decision about that quarterback. You got to make a decision about, because that guy is throwing to a very talented receiver, and so that's so important to get that chemistry going right away and not have it, boil over to where it's not going until late in the season. You got to be able to run the football. At some point in time, they're going to play in some cold weather games as well. So I think there's a lot of factors that you got to think through. And then you got to think through the division. How do you win the division? Because you're playing Kansas City twice. You're playing San Diego twice, playing Denver twice, and Jacoby said it. It's going to be a tough division. So all those things have to go right. But we would love to see the Raiders do well.
100%.
No, and you're definitely right on that, Coach Hugh. And obviously, Coach Hugh, you from being from Cali and LA, born and raised, and you always told me, when back in the days, how close you was with Al Davis. That boy was one of your mentors. Obviously you were there too. When he passed and all that. Going to Dorsey High, Raiders obviously is a big thing under your book. Now, obviously, I have to say this because, obviously, Coach, you were coach and you're still coaching. How amazing do you think the coaching staff is right now? Because once again, it all starts from the foundation. Obviously, I got to give him a shout out. My boy, my homeboy, Andre Carter, being the defensive line, assistant, that's my dude. Obviously that's a great addition. And your best friend, Coach, you Marvin Lewis, been over there. How do you think that would be a nice effect for this upcoming season? And let's not forget Antonio Pierce being the head coach. How do you think Antonio Pierce and the whole coaching staff is going to do this year?
I think they'll do great. I mean, I expect nothing but greatness out of that group. I mean, Antonio breathed a whole different mentality back into the Raiders. You saw it, and Jacoby talked about that earlier. Those guys played with fire towards the end of the season. I think that's the big question. Can you do it now for the whole year? That's the $1 million question. And I think they can. And I think what he has to do is create that environment that he wants with the rest of the coaching staff, and then they got to go get it and go acquire the type of players that he wants, in the program so that they become disciples of what he's saying each and every day.
Jacoby, what do you think, man? Antonio Pierce, the guy coming out, being a player, seeing it all and seeing the way he done his things, the second half of the season last year. What do you think about the coaching staff and how Antonio Pierce is going to do this year?
I think they're going to do extremely well. Just like Coach, you said, you definitely want those. Those are the kind of guys you want in the building. Those are guys that have been there, they've done it, they have the respect. And honestly, and this is just coming with because I coach high school, so I see how they respond to me just because I played at the highest level and I've done everything from high school to from little league all the way up. And the way that they even respond to me is like they listen. So I know the next level. Okay, if I have Coach Hue Jackson there, if I have Jacoby Ford there coaching, I know I'm going to probably listen. This guy played at the highest level. I'm going to probably tune in a little bit more and kind of maybe tighten up. And, we're going to take things probably a little more serious because this is how these guys are doing it. Look at, and they'll start taking your characteristics on, especially the way you walk around the building, how you carry yourself, how you prepare, how early you get there, how late you stay there. Those are little things that, I learned that, it it gets appreciated a lot more, and I definitely think it gets respected. And I think that I think they're going to do well. And I mean, Antonio has got that dog in him. He's got that fire in him. He's proud to wear that silver and black. That kind of reminds me of Hue, if I'm being honest. Just very fiery guy. Can tell he's a player's coach. He gets it. He understands. He's going to understand his players. He's going to listen to his players. And I mean, when do you ever see your head honcho of your team say, "Hey, if it ain't AP, I don't want to be here." So I mean, that was just like that was just it for me. I said, all right, well, Max Crosby says that. That means they really want him there. So that you can just tell just the command he has in the room, and they want him there, and they want to play for him. And when you have that around in your organization, it's scary. It's scary. It's good scary.
It definitely is good scary. I mean, look, I mean, not only Coach Hugh know what I'm about to say, but not only AP is a dog, man, but and you talking about he's wearing silver, he's looking good in silver black, man. My boy wears black Air Forces. Now you know what that means. That boy don't play around either. So, he will chew people out and the players out. If they ain't doing the right thing. So. I mean, I think Antonio Pierce is one of a player's coach, man. I think he will do it, and I think that's what the Raiders needed for a long time, since Hugh was there. So, I think it's going to be a great, year for the Raiders, and hopefully this podcast here, for the Raiders nations out there, it will give you some hope because me being a Commander fan, listen, man, we all in this we in the same boat, ain't that right, Coach? We in the same boat.
Nah, we ain't in y'all boat. Nah, we ain't in the Commander boat.
Oh man, listen, hey man, listen, look, Raiders were always a brother to me, man. Listen, if I cried, I cried to a Raiders fan, man. Listen, because we kind of feel each other's pain now. Come on, Jacoby.
We don't cry. They just cuss you out. They don't cry. That's the thing about the Raiders fans. They don't cry.
Hey, man, Jacoby, you ain't an undercover Cowboys fan, ain't you?
No, my wife actually is a Cowboys fan. Believe it or not.
Oh, I see. It's rubbing on you, man. That's why
Never.
you don't like seeing the Redskins, huh? But hey, Jacoby, but you got to keep it easy on the kids now. And I know you high school coaching. You got to keep it easy. You can't be running a little too fast around them. They're gonna miss something.
Oh, I just now started back running around.
Okay.
Yeah, these ones haven't tried me yet. My ones at my high school when I was coach at my alma mater, they tried to race me. They found out really quick.
Mm-hmm.
That probably wasn't
got the
best
burner.
Yeah,
they ate that dirt, huh?
Yeah. These ones here, they're a little smart. They're public school,
okay.
So they got some common sense to them over there. Hey, they kind of know.
Yeah. Jacoby, is amazing to have and to see you and to have you on. And
thank you. Appreciate it.
Most definitely. I mean, all the best to your future endeavors and coaching and everything else. And we're gonna reconnect and bring you back on a podcast for sure.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
Good seeing you.
Good seeing you too.